Amazon, where can I go to find the end of year for my inventory evaluation figure? I used to be able to find it on the first page of Inventory Lab, but I don't know where to find it on Amazon. For tax for tax reasons, I want to be able to deduct that figure of what I have in my inventory right now from last year. They used to give you a figure, a dollar figure of what you had in your inventory still there at the end of the year. And at that point, you could also use that as the deduction, or I guess it was a deduction. My tax man always wanted to know about it. And I don't know where that form or where that evaluation is on an Amazon report. No. Yes, there's a dollar figure that's assigned to that, and that will, hopefully be a deduction as well. You paid for it. I don't want I don't want my dollar figure. I want what they say it's evaluated at. But I guess if you had a report that showed what I paid for it as well, it wouldn't hurt. But naturally, it's not going to be as much. Yeah, for a long time. It's one of the first pages when you open up Inventory Lab. It'll show you whether it's fulfilled by merchant, FBA. It's right on the front page. But I mean, I don't know where to find it anymore with Amazon. Yeah, it's there now, but I don't think that's going to show me from last year. Yeah, I've looked at every report I can find, and I've kind of got a Deb doing my taxes as well. So, and she can't find it either, and she's the tax expert. So maybe GoTo doesn't have it yet. I know they're talking about bringing in some more back of the house information down the road, but there should be a way to figure out what you've got in your inventory and put a dollar figure to it.
Yeah, I know there's a way you can because you can see like your overall inventory dollars amount. I just don't know how they pull it from the Amazon's back end to make it like be the actual number. Like I don't know what report it is or anything.
Okay.
Can probably just do like an export or something. It's gonna give you like a CSV and then just put it in a spreadsheet.
You're going to get the CSV, but it's not going to give you like an overall number. Like you would need almost some type of spreadsheet that monitors the inventory levels just specifically for that.
Yeah, I've got one from back in 22 or 23 when I was with Inventory Lab, and it listed, how many items.
Yeah, and
Uh,
like how much in potential sales is sitting there. I know
yes,
I know
yes.
exactly what you're talking about. I just don't know
I've
how you
I've got
can.
that one, but that's not helping me now.
Yeah, I don't know how you can dig that up.
I don't think it would be a priority right now for GoTo to worry about it, but I just thought maybe somebody that uh, does that through Amazon might know.
Yeah, because I know GoToLister will tell you how much you have in potential inventory sitting at Amazon. I just don't know how it actually works. I'll look into it and I'll let you know.
All right, thanks, Mike.
And I can't sell that Star Wars set either.
No,
No, it's one of those weird Star Wars ones. I don't know why I'm gated in it.
don't worry about it, man. Dump it.
What else we got going on out there in the universe? Nothing. All right. I'm glad we're all rich. We'll wrap this call up here. 8 minutes in. Appreciate you all hanging out. I guess I can start my karaoke now. Roz, cue the music. You got the boombox for me? The price of my 10 by 5 storage unit that coincidentally contains all my media is going up from 55 to 92 at the end of next month. I have another 10 by 5 next to it. It won't be going up next month, so my focus will be to sell as much inventory as possible to clear the space. Yeah, I actually did that, and I didn't get one that was right next to mine, so I had to like wheel my inventory like 2 rows over in the storage unit. It's It sucks. The store. I mean, at the end of the day, they know people store their stuff, so they're not gonna. They're just gonna keep raising the price. Like that's why I need a house. That's another reason why I need a house, so I could dump this storage unit and I could be like Ray and live in my garage with all the junk around me. But I at least feel good knowing that I'm not paying 125 bucks a month. I'm just burning it for the storage unit. Uh, they know you fill that thing up with all your junk, you're not gonna move it. So every 3 months, raise it 10, 15 bucks. It's a good business to be in. You want to make some easy money? Buy some storage. Maybe we all can pull our money together and we'll get a huge storage unit complex, and we can just sit back and collect checks and raise rent every 2 months. Brian, how you been, dude? I haven't seen you in a while. I was actually gonna message you earlier today.
Oh, been okay. In fact, I was out today. I won something on an online auction, and the place to pick up was right across the other side of 25 from one of my favorite Goodwills. So I get a twofer. I picked the stuff up and then went into the Goodwill. Found a few books in there. So I've actually been out a little bit more. I got like maybe like almost a half a box or more. Unfortunately, don't laugh. I mean it. I don't want to see you laugh. Turbo Lister is having problems. So I've just been kind of waiting. I'm actually thinking about going back and doing a box, just doing Seller Central. But even that's a little messed up with this API. That new inventory thing that they have, the old way you could go ahead and do a mass, like, somebody in the Turbo Lister group who recommended listing their stuff as merchant fulfilled, getting it in there, and then going into Seller Central and just checking it all to send to Amazon. But you can't do that easily with the new one. There was somebody in this group that posted a little set of instructions on how to get to the old inventory list, which I still have but was able to get up. The only problem is it only does 10 items on a page, so it takes quite a while to do that.
Yeah. I just the whole rollout was just a complete mess on Amazon's part. They kind of screwed us all over with it. Like I told Ray, all the softwares some of them ain't even working at all. So it takes longer, but you can account for it, and it's only going to get better, hopefully, from here moving forward. But yeah, you got to stay on Turbo. You're not allowed to use any other listing software, Brian. You are married to Turbo Lister for as long as we know each other, sir.
Well, I mean, I said I actually got the hang of it and didn't find it to be a problem, but this new change has got them baffled. Is this the one that's live on YouTube?
Yep, you are, dude.
Good.
They're hearing you.
Good. I want this to go out. Anybody that says that Amazon is a technology company is blowing it at their butt. This last rollout proves that they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Oh, I like this. Maybe we all should, even if it's not reselling related and you just got a beef you got to settle and you want it out there in the YouTube universe, maybe that's what this call turns into, right? Like, hey, anybody out there, like, we got to have some Chiefs and Eagles fans, right? Like football, right? Like the Chiefs are winning because Taylor Swift is a Chiefs fan and it's rigged. And I'm a Chiefs fan because I make money off Taylor Swift. I don't follow football, but Taylor puts a little bit of money in my bank account on the back end with her CDs. Yeah, so we can have all the conspiracy theories and everything out there. You're right, Brian. It amazes me how much money they make and how antiquated. Yeah, it's been this way even since the beginning, man. Like it's almost like the eBay style, right? Where nothing gets changed for 10 years, 15 years. We're still operating like it's 1995 and, Bezos just listed his first book in the garage.
So, I mean, they're nothing but an online retail company. I mean, it's no different than Walmart online or any of the other ones that you can do that with. They're not really. I guess their AWS stuff is somewhat technology, but their stuff for handling sales, you're right. I don't think it's any better than the stuff they had at Sears before Sears went out of business.
Yeah. Average Joe says, I'm dealing with my account verification finally. Got the postcard, but dealing with bank account verification. My statement doesn't list the account number, so Amazon keeps denying the verification. You got two options. You could literally just write your account number on there, or you probably could go down to the bank and get one that actually has your account number. Or a blank check probably would work if you put it on there with the bank statement, kind of, the blank check sitting on top of the actual statement. Either way, yeah, I don't blame you though. Get it figured out one way or another. Bob says first box is lost. It's basically lost. All right, dude. What does basically lost mean? Like that's like a. Is it somewhere out there? How long has it been? Where is it at? What warehouse? So we know not to send our stuff there.
I went and sent it to, I want to say Medford, uh, and this was on November 27th. It gets there December like 15th or something, right? And then it goes into FC processing. And I think everything put in there was low sellers because it's all like AWD eligible. And so it went from FC process or FC transfer for about a month, and now it's from when it got there to it went to FC processing, and now everything shows zeros. And then I got an error that says, "Hey, these two units had errors for like batteries," and I'm doing books and weight. And so then I do that, and now they're showing zero and not available either. And so this has been since like mid December that I've just been waiting for this to process. And so I'm totally new too, so like I'm just listening and trying to absorb everything. But man, I've tried. They said to delete the listings. I thought that was stupid. I don't know if that's the right thing to do. But then they're like, complete all of these issues with each of your listings. Well, I did that and nothing's happening. Sorry, it's been a long day with trying to figure this stuff out.
Oh, 100%. And I think, how many items was in that first box? Is it the only box you sent
Just
so far?
22.
Just 22.
It was the only, because I need to do wholesale instead of going out and thrifting because I'm in Montana and it's it's freezing out.
Yes.
So and we don't have a lot here, so I'm going wholesale route with Alliance, and I'm trying to do Ingram too. But so yeah.
I think you've burned enough mental calories to say goodbye to those 22 items, and a lot of people here can attest to the fact that boxes have gone missing. Pretty much every single one of us sitting here has boxes gone missing. I know people sitting here right now have boxes that contain 200 units that show closed with a zero.
Yeah. I just need to figure out how to kill it all and start from scratch again, without like burning myself too much.
Yeah.
That's what I'm working on tonight.
Yeah, it's eating up too much of your real estate in that brain of yours. It's not worth it for the 22 items. So it sucks, but yeah, I would just literally you can just delete the items and they should go stranded if there's any quantities, and then you could just have them removed, liquidated, sent back to you, whatever works best.
Okay, that sucks because I had some really good addiction books for like 60 plus, and I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't have sent those.
Well, you can delete them if there's a quantity; it'll go stranded, and then you can just relist them again right through Seller Central. One click relist FBA, and then you can try relisting it and see if that lets them populate. If not, then you're going to be screwed.
Okay, no worries. It's just
It sucks, dude. It
does. I popped my eBay button on this, and I'm just like, oh well. Or I popped my Amazon button on this, and it's like, oh, I wish I would have had a better first box, but what do you do?
Exactly. It's unfortunate, right, that we all have to try to figure out these different things. Like Amazon can't just give you a clear-cut answer, but it's all bots. Amazon's customer support is just bots. It's like the same idea when you get ungated. It's just bots reading these things. The same with the account. The bank account, it's just bots looking for that same exact number. It's pretty mind-blowing to me.
Well, thanks. Yeah, thanks for the words of encouragement.
Unfortunately, I can't help you besides telling you
it's
time to move on.
Yep, let's move on. Move forward.
Have some games that I sent to scan as an Xbox One listing, but they were Xbox Series X. If I delete those listings before they get to Amazon, yes, they should automatically become stranded when they get there. There's going to be, you don't want them to sell while they're in transit. Yeah, you can just delete them now, and they should go stranded. It's not like they're magically going to disappear. Amazon invented Mechanical Turk. What is Mechanical Turk, dude?
Oh, that's doing small tasks for like micropayments. I did that back in the day. it sucked, but you could make $200 in a week just hanging out. Yeah.
No, it's probably how they used to train all of those like captcha models and everything like
Yep.
that. Where like you pick out all the pictures that actually have birds on it, and like they get 90% of people to agree, and then they put it out there for you as your captcha. But my point is, they went from actually hiring people for pennies to bots.
Bob, if it makes you feel better, Renee in the YouTube chat said she lost the box, and then Shotdown says it won't be your last headache on Amazon. So he's definitely right about that. And then Josh says that's what happens when you opt for AI over developers. I think all three of them are correct, and it's pretty funny that all of us sellers who just accept the fact that we're dealing with bots and people that have never sold on Amazon and probably are overseas, and it's just the game we play. 67 units go missing, but then they showed up 2 months later. Somebody, Michelle in the group, she actually had a book sets that she was in her early shipments, showed up this past week, and they were missing for 8 months, and now they just randomly showed up into her inventory. So who knows? I wish there was a clear-cut way to say, hey, this is exactly how it works, but it's nothing on Amazon is like that. Yeah, Arizona was pretty bad for a while there. Same with Miami. Miami was pretty bad, but they kind of cleaned up their mess a little bit, although I still have some that are waiting to get checked in from the beginning of the month. But now everything's going right down the block, so I don't have to worry. And if I do have an issue, I'll do a YouTube video. I'll go down and I'll knock on the door, and I'll say, hey, my boxes are in that trailer somewhere, and we're going to go scan these things in together. I'll probably get arrested, but it'll be worth it. Had a box lost for 4 months, kept complaining, and one day it was magically found in the back of the warehouse somewhere and all added to my inventory. Yeah, the guy that stole all of your Mariah Carey Christmas CDs finally decided he should probably bring them back into work so he doesn't get fired. What else we got going on out there in the universe? Anybody get any exciting bulk pickups lately? I got my library pickup later this week. Anybody stumble into any crazy good deals? I went to the pawn shop. You guys seen my video. That pawn shop is loaded with good stuff. All them Barney DVDs, and that was literally, I got 2 full IKEA bags and I spent $90. I even got books from the pawn shop. Those are the places you got to have. You go to once every single month, and you can literally buy almost every single thing. Like, I probably could buy everything in there without even looking and just pay the 25 cents a piece. 3 Gaylords of DVDs for $300 today. Josh, can you tell us the phone number, the address, the email address of where you're buying these Gaylords? I swear they won't be flooded with calls. No buying.
I have somebody in my area offering boxes of Gaylords of books for $25, but they admit that they've all been scanned. He's selling them for $25 just to get rid of them for people to use for crafting or whatever.
My guy is giving them away. Mixed media Gaylords, all scanned pick through for $0.00. And it'll sit on Facebook because nobody wants it. Diamond, no buying for 2025, only selling. Well, at some point you're going to run out of stuff to sell, so you're going to have to buy something to replenish this stuff to sell. Just got back from Costa Rica. Backroom access thrift shop. Okay, you're cheating, so we already discovered that. Found a $140 vintage book and probably $250 to $300 more in profit. Very nice. Moving to Oklahoma. You're all over the place, dude. You're just like, you just can't stay in one spot. No matter where you move, because you're just going to be traveling all over anyway. Fed is trying to get in on Josh's deal, but his lips are sealed. He ain't getting him out of that. I bought enough inventory last year to last me the whole year. That's pretty amazing. I wish I didn't have to go to the thrift store for the whole year and I had enough inventory. I have a question. I got a pallet of small lamps a long time ago. Suggestions how to sell them is allowed. I'm an eBay seller. A pallet of lamps. I am curious, ladies and gentlemen, how would you go about selling these things personally? If you didn't pay a lot for them, I would just try to get my money back out of them. Because shipping lamps singly, sure, if there's some bangers in there, you're going to make, 50, 75, $100 on. I would pick a number and stick to it and know that, hey, if it's not worth $50 on eBay, then I'm not listing it. Go on Facebook Marketplace for $5 or $10 or something like that. But Facebook Marketplace, in my experience, you deal with a lot of people that are flaky and you wind up wasting a lot of time. So just have that in mind as well. But I would sell the expensive ones and get rid of everything else. Get your money back out of it. And um, I don't know, buying lamps, unless you're the crazy lamp lady. If it works for you, then 100% do it. But for me, I wouldn't know the first thing to do with lamps. Not my store manager asked me to be their book guy. I can come wherever I want and take what I want, books, DVDs, and CDs in exchange for keeping their shelf stock. 300 books for $50 on Marketplace. Mostly art books, haven't scanned yet. You'll probably make a killing, and you have the outlet to sell them books anyway, Gail. So art books they could be really good or they can just be absolute junk for the most part. But most of the stuff, if you can find those bigger, older art books, it's usually always worth it. You kind of can just tell by what the topic is. Honestly, I sent a Bob Ross book. Bob Ross teaches you how to paint rocks. I sent that like 2 weeks ago. The quilting and beading ones are pretty good sometimes. Yeah, I always scan. I don't know if any of you do it. I always scan those knitting books. Those knitting books are bangers. If you're going to be picky in the craft section, scan the knitting books. I don't mess around so much with like
Quilting. Isn't it quilting? You and I were doing quilting there for a while.
quilting, knitting, anything like, especially
yeah.
now in the winter. I sent a few of those in last week. I had a few of the leisure, the prayer shawls, make your own prayer shawls. I always thought it'd be cool if I could try to make myself one and then wear it on the YouTube live, but it'd probably take me like 10 years to knit a prayer shawl. Tomato potato. Oh, I read that as tomato potato together. I don't know what tomato potato is, dude. He's typing it up instead of just telling me here.
You know when people say like tomato, tomato?
Okay.
I say tomato, potato. Same but different. That's it.
You keep trying to get Josh's Gaylord lead. Yeah, my guy sells Gaylords too. It's just all bad. It's all bad. Just everything's scanned over, picked over. Let me get them Gaylords, Josh. He's just gonna keep every 5 minutes in the chat. Hey, where you live, Josh? He's gonna go on Josh's YouTube channel, try like reverse sourcing where he lives and what the nearest places are, and calling them individually. Like, do you have a guy that buys Gaylords? I'm willing to pay an extra 10% of what he does. And then Josh makes a YouTube video. Somebody stole all my sources. This is the end for me. Book sales. I'm back in the book sale game. I have one this upcoming week that I'm going to go to. I'm not going for the books. I'm going for the CDs and DVDs. So I won't be fighting all the crazy people. But I feel like it's time to get me back on the wagon. I've sent in probably close to more inventory in January than I ever have since I started this business. I'm kind of doubling down on what's working for me. And I'm trying to catch up with a bunch of you hot shots out there, because a lot of you are making a whole lot of money selling media on Amazon, and I'm a little jealous of it because the only thing stopping me was from not going out more. So I've been making it a point. I'm running longer routes. I'm hitting different places. Ongoing book sales. I've had huge success with going into libraries that have the book sales that are like all the time during their library hours. Been cleaning those up. More pawn shops further out, driving to little different cities around me. I know some of you don't have a lot of options. Facebook Marketplace, I'm scouring that. And yeah, it's kind of been a decent start to the year for me. It's nothing, yeah, the API thing sucks, but I mean, it is what it is. It just makes you kind of be more precise in how you use your time. I met Sigil at a sale on Friday in the CD section. You're lying.
Nope. We've got a picture.
Oh my
I've been reading the post in
God.
Discord.
What was it, like a library sale?
Yeah, it was a library sale in South Carolina, I think. Yeah.
Were you there in line, or did you just show up after it opened?
I think he was there when it opened. I show up after it opened just because I went to the wrong place. And then he was there scanning. I'm like, it looks like him. And then, yeah, so.
You should have just started grabbing them all and putting them in your bag before you even said like who you were and how you knew they
Well,
existed.
we both thought we were paying $1 a piece before they told us it was two for $1. So we were like making all our decisions at $1 a piece. The DVDs were more expensive though. So, uh, but yeah, then we had some traditional North Carolina fare afterwards. We went to Cookout. So,
Should have solder checked him. Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm gonna assume Sigil was a nice guy, right? He wasn't cutting you off, right?
oh, I mean, he stole my bag away from me after I paid for it, but I mean,
Was he there
no,
by himself, or did he have one of his employees with him?
he was there by himself. No, he was great.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, uh, we kind of saw the nods and everything like that, and um, yeah. But I mean, you go through stuff. Everybody's got different markers and things for what they're looking for anyway, what they'll accept. And he came out with bags full of stuff. I came out with bags full of stuff. So uh, it was good. So.
If I ever come across one of you at a sale, I expect you guys to fill up my bag first, and then we can work on your bags, all right? And I got many IKEA bags in the car, so it might be a while till we get to your bag.
Where's the cancel group button?
uh, it's go to YouTube somewhere in your account settings and cancel it, and then it gives you a survey of why you canceled. Just make sure you fill that out in complete and true honesty. Feta's the dude that looks like he rolls into the sale and like he comes next to you and you're like, oh man, this guy like he's a mobster or something, right? And he's like he starts getting closer to you and you're like, sorry sir, am I in your way? Let me get out of your way. I've only it's me and Brian have hung out, but like we only went to a few Goodwills. It was nothing crazy. Back when the Goodwills actually had stuff around me. And other than that, I ran into one person that noticed me from, well, actually two people that noticed me from YouTube. One is a clothing seller who lives in my area, and another one does media that's in central Pennsylvania. And it's good meeting people. Well, I always say, right, the idea that the book community is like super friendly and everything, I think that's kind of, it sheds its true light when you're at one of these library sales and you don't know none of these people and they don't care if, like, for you or your well-being. Like, sure, if anybody from the group sees you, it's, hey, how's it going? Sure, yeah, we all can scan together. But if it's like you just go to one of these huge sales, these people don't care nothing about you. They're just going to run you over to get their $2 profits. I'm banned from all sales because of that. On Book Sale Finder, it's like wanted, and it's a picture of him. Like, if you see this man, please call us. I've yet to run into anyone scanning in my area. That's a good thing. Honestly, I used to run into a lot of scanners back when you could go in any store and get a cart full of books. And I'm still in the mindset. Even if another one of me moved into my area, I still think there's enough inventory that you can have a full-time profitable business. And let's be real, most resellers are lazy, right? How many people start and go away? How many people aren't scanning the bottom shelves? How many people are using the default triggers, right? Believe it or not, I'm not the biggest YouTuber out there in the universe. You probably could ask people at book sales, hey, have you ever heard of the used book guy? They would probably say, who the hell are you talking about? So like it's all out there for the taking. Even if you have competition, I think you just do things differently. Just don't rely on the thrift stores. Go to the pawn shops, go to the record stores, work with the libraries. There's so many different ways to make money in this game.
So I was at another thrift store Saturday, and while I was there, I was looking. They're one of the ones that put their sticker over top the barcode. So I kept pulling books out to look at, and I would see where somebody had pushed it up. So I was scanning them anyway, and I still found a half a dozen books that somebody had already pushed up, scanned the barcode, and passed on.
I make it a point to do that, Brian, just so I know, like, hey, these people, it reinforces the fact that a lot of people have no idea and they don't look at their phones and they don't understand the software. They don't understand nothing. I drove all the way I went to a new place. They had a Facebook marketplace post like, hey, we got all these DVDs and Blu-rays. And it was one of those freezing days. It was like 10 degrees, 30-mile-per-hour winds. I drive all the way out there. It was the same day I picked up that new DVD lot that I got off Facebook Marketplace. So I drive all the way out there, and I get there, and like, it's one of those flea markets that has like the inside buildings too, in addition to the outside. Well, there's nothing going on outside because it's 10 degrees. So I go inside to check out this booth, and like, it is literally like negative 10 degrees inside of this place. Like, the heaters aren't working. They got those propane heaters that are just like sitting there and they shoot out the heat. I couldn't scan for more than 20 minutes. It was so cold, and it was all way overpriced. So I'm I'm leaving. I got like a little stack of stuff. I got a few DVDs and CDs, and I'm like, hey, like, where's the bathroom at in this place, right? So he's like, oh, you got to go through the next 3 buildings, and there's a porta potty outside. So I'm like, I'm walking through the next 3 buildings, and they got like booths inside, like your typical flea market. Don't you know, the last building I walked through, there's like 3 huge bookcases, DVDs, 50 cents. I said, oh, there we go. I'm spending like $60 at this one booth just because I ran to the bathroom before I got out of there. Because otherwise, it would have been a complete waste of time. And then that was the day I stopped at the library sale, and I was super late. I showed up like Brian, right? We're like late to the game. We're just like, yeah, whatever. We're here. I guess we made it to the party. And I spent every dollar I had. They only took cash. And I had like $63, and I was like, I'm spending every dollar I have before I leave. And there was people in there scanning when I got there, and it started at 9, and I got there at like 12:30. It ran till 2, and I spent $63, and it was all good stuff. And I still find it hard to believe that people aren't scanning the self-help section. People aren't scanning, the quality cookbooks or like the religious section. Like, I literally cleaned up. But here's 3 people trying to look these books up that are history and war on eBay and Amazon, and I'm just literally filling my box up. Are you using any automate pricing? What are you talking about, Tommy?
When you go to find all these errors in your pricing that they want you to lower the price, there's always a box to know if you want to enroll in automate pricing.
Oh, no. Don't ever click that button. That'll be the end of you.
I've just never seen it before, but now they're really getting picky about how you price on your inventory, and boy, they want you to it keeps changing, and they want you to go back and change the minimum maximum prices kind of regularly.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. They basically want you to give their stuff away. And, like Brian said, they're just a retail company. They don't care about anything else as long as they collect their fees.
Well, that's all well and good until they deactivate it. Then you got issues.
Yep, exactly. And you're stuck with an item that's $100
Which
item.
to me has got to be the stupidest thing that they do. That has got to be the stupidest thing. Why would you take something off sale when there's a chance that somebody will buy it? Especially when you're talking about, I'm getting hit because it's 2 cents off. How stupid can you be?
It's the bots, dude. It's the AI. It's the bots, man.
Do you know what's stupider?
What?
Is why would you not? Why would you take items and classify them as other options to purchase because you don't like the price? Just let it list. If there's only one person on the listing, just let it list.
Yeah.
And let it sell. That they're cutting off their own nose to spite their face. I've had 3 games sitting there, and it's $1 less more than what they think it should be sold for. And so I'm just holding out because I just want to teach Amazon a lesson.
I think there should be some limits to it, right? Like, you shouldn't be able to list, your Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On single CD for like $10,000, because if some old lady accidentally misclicks and pays 10 grand for the Celine Dion CD, but I mean, that could be at maybe like anything priced over $350. Like, why I got CDs and DVDs that I have listed for $9.99, and they want me to sell it for like 30 cents. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's
Right.
Sense. It's
Well,
stupid.
even bigger ticket items. They still have the same rules. If you leave it there for a year, they're going to destroy it or remove it, or so they still have all these other things going on. But if it's listed and you're the only one sitting there, and it's fourth quarter and it's Christmas, and you've got nobody in the buy box, and this game was selling 30 a month before the fourth quarter, and they're just sitting there because a lot of people don't understand more buying options. They just look over there and they think it's all out of stock.
Yeah.
Most people don't even know you can push something other than buy now.
Yeah, I agree. It's
it's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard of. When you go to Walmart, and I was noticing this today because I'm listing a lot of my stuff on Walmart. When you go and look up my game on Walmart, they have all the pictures of the same game, and they're all lined up in rows. You can see who's ordering what. I mean, what the prices are right there. Everybody's going to pick the lowest, of course, and then that one's gone, but it's all right on that page. And some of them, like one of them, I don't know, somebody was selling it for $6.99. It must have been like used, but it was in the new category. And another person was selling it for 125, and it goes for 65 on Amazon. So the 125 guy doesn't sell, until they're all out and somebody needs it or whatever. I don't know yet what the rules are with Walmart in terms of, letting inventory sit there and everything, but it's starting to look like a viable alternative to some of the bullshit we're on YouTube, some of the BS on Amazon. Really, I mean,
As long as you
there's
don't
only
curse,
so much more I can take.
as long as you don't curse the first minute or two on YouTube, you're fine. That's
Oh,
all I
okay.
care about.
Oh, I got some others then.
I agree though. I agree. It's a balancing act, right? Because if you think about reselling, somebody from the outside reselling, they see like the crazy toys and like we're almost considered like scalpers, right? Like we're kind of taking advantage of supply and demand. So Amazon tries to balance the idea of supply and demand with this, well, here's what we consider a fair price, which has no relevance to anything, right? Like it's the idea of what's the list price for a book that doesn't have an ISBN. Well, if you look on the book, it's probably 95 cents, but that was when it was, made, 1930. So people put in the 95 cents, and that's another thing. If we're going to clean up stuff, let's clean up things like that, like items that have list prices of a penny that we can't sell because everything, and it would be easy because all they would have to do was go into the listings and see where there's no FBA offers and there's collectible offers because we get around it, we listing things as collectible, so it would be an easy fix. It's just too much data. I think Amazon has too much data and they can't figure out how to clean it up now that they have a million different I mean, I did some cover scans because some of the DVDs and Blu-rays I got were covered, the barcodes. There's like 6 or 7 different Blu-ray listings for these popular Blu-rays. They're not like scary or like real scarce, not selling quick Blu-rays. I'm talking like Hot Tub Time Machine, a Hot Tub Time Machine Blu-ray, and there's like 10 different Blu-ray listings. Like, let's get this down to 1 or 2 if there's a different version, but I guess they just refused, and they shouldn't let people create new variations on listings, right? Like you shouldn't be able to create a listing for the DVD as a book because maybe you're restricted it. And think about it this way. How many new sellers are restricted? So how many people nowadays are trying to just create a new listing for their DVD, CD, or book because they're restricted in it? It's crazy.
Well, and also, what happened to the principles of capitalism, supply and demand? That this is also something that their algorithms don't necessarily pay any attention to, because it kind of feels like if there's any kind of demand, Amazon will just go in and buy up every lot of that thing and then sell it for 15 cents, and you almost don't even have a choice. But then when you get to, my scenario where nobody else is on the listing, it's the fourth quarter and they're selling 26 a month, and I have 3 still sitting there, because they won't give anybody the buy box. It just is so ridiculous.
It is, but you have to see it from their side too, right? Because when I worked at CVS and COVID first started, CVS raised the price of eggs to like $9 a dozen, and like there was news stories about it, right? So they see it from the side of, well, it's not their product, right? The majority of their sales come from people like us sitting here, right? So that they rather save face and let us deal with the having to sell our things at lower prices than them actually taking the hit for publicity and letting you sell, the Stephen King Bachman books for, $250. Or in my case, I came across that Harley and the Davidsons Blu-ray again. Like that's one that you can sell for a decent amount of money and they want you to give it away next to nothing. But I knew this time around, but I didn't know last time. So it's really a $130 new Blu-ray and I had to sell it. Somebody Average Joe said, yeah, if it's $40 and I want you to sell it at 20, I'm in the same boat as him instead of recalling it and relisting it as collectible. But I do have limits, right? Like I'm not just going to give my good stuff away, and none of us should do that. And it is stupid. It's just another hoop we have to jump through. I mean, it could always be worse. You could have to take photos on eBay and kind of deal with that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, what are your options with that? That happened to me like today. Like I sent a book. There's only one FBM listing for like 56. Put it FBA at like 54.99. Sells online up to 149. I mean, listed online, not especially selling, but like listed online. And then they give me the high pricing error, and I had to go down all the way to 38.95 to be accepted. So, what are your options if you want to still sell it for $50? Like recall it and list it as collectible, or
Yes, or FBM it. Yep, that's your only option. So you got to look at
okay,
it as you recall it, eat the $3 back to you, ship it back in at collectible at the price.
okay.
Collectible sometimes does get the buy box, but in most cases there won't be the buy box if you list it as collectible. But yeah, there's that's you got all your options in front of you. You already know what your options are, and they all suck.
Yeah, because now I'm kind of scared of sending stuff that are like showing green with high value. Like I went to a library and I got one of those graphic novel, and it's telling me that it's like 149. I should list it at like 149. I'm like, should I send it or should I just FBM it?
If you scan it in Scoutly and it shows the buy box price is that high, then you know there's at least an FBA price that is all the way up there.
Okay,
I did that with a DVD set last year that was anime, and there were like two listed FBM, and they were like 114 and $119. I listed it FBM for 95 plus shipping and sold it, but I wasn't going to turn it into Amazon and let that $95 DVD set go to waste in the warehouse someplace. So plus I got a better return because I didn't pay fees on that.
The average Joe's brings up a good point too. When you're listing in the listing software and you see a lot of collectible listings, then you know it's going to be a high pricing error one. Like if you go look up that Harley and the Davidson's Blu-ray, I guarantee you all the FBA listings are probably collectible. Sigils here, yo, we heard you got beat up at a book sale by somebody in the group.
Yeah, the librarians and him teamed up on me. It sucked.
Yeah.
And you stole this guy's bag after he already paid for it.
Yeah, and I ran out of the library and I sent a refund request to my bank to remove me from the library donation list, so I didn't even have to pay for that. So yeah, these are all zero buy costs that I'm processing.
He said
Yeah.
something about you couldn't read the sign that it was 50 cents a CD and not a dollar a CD.
Uh, the CDs were the only thing that was actually priced pretty well there.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. Welcome to the show. How's business for you?
I'm not listing anything right now, so it kind of sucks. I'm waiting for a lot of the headaches to get smoothed out and see how Amazon reacts to all the backlash I imagine they're getting. So I'm just processing, and I'm out in the streets sourcing again for the first time in a while. I'm not getting right into bulk again, so I'm cherry picking. Just went to my first library sale. It went well.
I'm curious. How long are you willing to hold off until you actually jump in and deal with this workflow?
I was really hoping for February. I know that Romer was pushing in some like update that would allow you to just submit the whole batch and it would like remove the errors. I was waiting for that at least. I just see so many issues with it right now. So I figure instead of like doubling or tripling my time on that, I should just do other steps of the process. So yeah, that's how I'm handling it. I'm not worried though. We'll find a way.
Yeah, I got close to 500 out this past week, but I was working in multiple batches, and they were going for the majority of the day, waiting for them to kick back to me and then send them back. So it's and the labels, not print in order. Ray was cursing before we started the stream because he's ready to build his own listing software, but I think it's all the software is just chalked at this point.
Right. It's what they have to deal with, the parameters that Amazon's giving them. It's not their choice to do this. Um, Yeah, the thing that I really am upset about is the non-barcode items are going to be a pain because if you wanted to scan in the items after the batch is done so the labels print out, you can't do that with them. So that's going to be like a huge matching game. Um, yeah, it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, the
It
only
was
the only thing I see that works with that is if you can get the labels to print in order, and you stack the non barcodes and you do only a non barcode box, and then you just hit add all to box one. That's the only work because you're right. Mike E was talking about the same thing. He was messaging me the other day saying, "I got all this non-barcode CDs. Like it's impossible for me to actually scan them in order and get the labels."
Right. That method right there that you just described was what I was thinking too. Um, I heard as of now or as of a few days ago when Prince tried it and pressed print all labels at the end, they printed out in random order.
They do.
So
Yeah, they still do. They're working on it. I know some. I know Ray had Dom and GoToLister go in and fix his in his account somewhere, but it's not rolled out to everybody yet. And I can attest that they are not printing out in order, at least for my account yet.
yeah, if they're able to fix that, that'll make non-barcode batches doable
You just got
without
to
a
do
huge.
one box at a time, which sucks because I know a lot of you like to pump in all these units. Because if you're gonna hit add all to box one, then it's got to be the one box at a time.
So do we have to like if you're doing boxes of books, are you like weighing these as you go to make sure you're under 50 pounds?
I figure in most cases I can never get more than 50 pounds in one of those 16 by 12 by 12 boxes. So it's kind of worked out in my favor that I've always stuck to those boxes. And I know that 84 DVDs fit in one of those boxes. If you don't got no TV sets, we're just talking single DVDs. And I know like 182 CDs I can probably fit in there, maybe a little bit more. So I'll just do it as I go. And then if it says it kicks back an error, I'll just add one and take one out and kind of do the same thing. Like I had that happen with like a hardback. So I was just like, all right, well, that's this big. I grabbed two softbacks that were kind of the same size, scanned those into the batch, removed the one they didn't like, and then they took the batch. It's a little shit like that that slows you up, though.
Sigil,
Yeah.
that's how I do it. I pack boxes by weight, not by quantity, because I use exclusively the Lowe's medium-sized square box. So I have
Right.
my scale sitting here, and as I scan it, it goes on the scale. So when I see the scale hits 45 pounds, I stop. And I know that everything on that scale is going to fit in that box, and you trim it down. That's how I
Right.
do all.
Do you opt to use the medium box rather than the small just because you find that you can get more books in it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and then you
Yep.
just gotta use a box resizing tool or
Yep.
however you want to
And each
square
box
it.
ends up somewhere between 45 to 46, 7 maybe pounds, something like that. And then I just
I
trim
mean,
them,
it makes
I trim.
sense.
What's that?
Yeah, it makes
Yeah.
sense to maximize these as close to 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't want to get close to 50. So when I see it hits 44 point whatever, I know I can put one more thing on, and that's it. That's how I do it.
I also understand where Mike's coming from too, just to have peace of mind that that small box will likely never reach 50 pounds. I know in the past when I was doing books, I've had it come close, and I think I've had to remove some at times. But yeah, with other media, you won't have that problem. So
Me and Jeff would like to welcome you to Placement Fees, Sigil. We appreciate you trying to underskirt and undercut the idea of not paying them, but now you got it. So, yeah, welcome to the club.
yeah, yeah, listing on Amazon just keeps getting more and more fun this year.
We appreciate your small contributions at checkout. All right. Would you like to? That soon enough is going to be like, would you like to round up your shipment today? they're gonna have one of those. Would you like to tip Amazon today? And the screen spins around. Here, we got one more question for you to hit before it's completed. Oh.
Hey, Mike, will you put, oh, sorry.
No, no, go ahead, Russ.
We had like 4 people unmute for the
Was-
first time in history at the same exact second, so we'll get to everybody.
Well, no, I'll let somebody else who does, but I was just gonna say that thing that Tommy asked you for, regarding the inventory, I'm actually pretty interested in that because it looks to me like I'm probably going to be destroying about 200 DVDs. And so I really want to know what the value of those destroyed DVDs are at the beginning before I destroy them for next year's test.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a report. You just got to filter it to the date. We just got to find out which one it is, and then you just run it
Okay.
from January 1st to the end of December 24th.
Okay, sorry, Feda, or whoever else is talking.
Yeah, no worries. Sigil, I got a question for you actually. I was just curious how, when you're doing the manual scans, like what's your method for adding them to GoToLister? Like, do you just do the manual scan and then copy and paste the ASIN into the GoToLister phone app after that, or what do you do?
Well, the plan that I have is I have a webcam connected to a Windows computer,
Mhm.
use BlueStacks, and that is an emulator that can access the Google Play Store.
Uh-huh.
you can use the Amazon seller app in there with that webcam, and then it will scan it if you place a CD in front of the webcam, and the Amazon seller app on your computer will bring up that item's image, and you can copy and paste the ASIN that way.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I use BlueStacks for the for Scout IQ. So whenever I need to just like copy and paste the ASIN from Amazon, I do it that way. But
Right.
um, that's interesting. The way that I do it is like I have one of my employees. I just have a bunch of manual scans in different boxes, and then they'll manual scan them. And then if it's good, I have them put a blank FN SKU wherever the barcode would be, and then they just write the ASIN on it, so that when I go to Adam and go to list, I'm just typing up all the ASINs quickly. But your method might work a little bit better.
Yeah, yours definitely works, but yeah, it's gonna be a pain no matter how you go about it.
Yeah, this new flow is just it's dog shit.
I
How you're doing it don't make sense.
I just scan it on my phone because I don't have a lot of them like you guys do, and I'll just scan it on my phone. Basically, what Sigil does, I just scan it on my phone. I got it right here, and I'll just type the ASIN in that I pull off my phone right in the go-to lister.
Yeah, that's how I used to do it, but I hate doing the manual scan, so I just make my employees do it and then write the ASIN. So it's
Yeah,
just
well,
for me.
you probably won't have employees long if you keep making them do those crappy manual scans.
Honestly, as soon as I tell them, "Hey guys, you're on manual scans today," they hate it. Like just like their souls leave their body.
Hook them up with the webcam.
Yeah, I
If
might do
it's any
that.
better. I like doing it better, so I imagine an employee would like doing it better. I like it better because I can move faster though, so I don't know, they might still view it as soul sucking.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't necessarily want them adding anything into go-to lister because I like to do that whole process myself. So
Well, what you can do is you can have two BlueStacks popped up at once, and you can be scanning it with Amazon, get the ASIN, and then have them just paste that into your Scout IQ or Scoutly as well on the computer, so
mhm.
you can see if it's a accept or reject, and then they can like just paste that into a notepad if it's an accept, or however you. I would just when I'm doing it and I see it's an accept with these non-barcode things, then I'd immediately add it into the batch and go to lister so that it's all done. I don't have to go back and copy and paste the ASIN again
Yeah,
because I have a storage unit full of non-barcode items. So this is
damn,
the most valuable information I can give the group.
that's a lot. Cool.
Hmm.
Thanks.
If somebody lapses on their 299 a month, I'm sending you to Sigil's non-barcode storage unit for a week of punishment.
I
All right,
appreciate
we had two other people that unmuted. I think it was our French geek and maybe Leslie. I think were the two I seen. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to go back to the high pricing errors. I have sometimes had success by opening a case and asking them to adjust their reference price, and I will give them eBay solds or Abe or use.adall.com. It doesn't always work, but sometimes it works.
So we all need to pay Leslie 299 a month, not me, because she's fixing these listings single-handedly out there for all of us. So we appreciate your hard work.
Yeah, thank you. No, I just had a CD. It was a collectible kids CD, and they let me list it at $35. They wanted it at 7.95, and I wasn't selling this thing below 19.99, and it took. So, and then sometimes they'll pop back out 6 months later, but it does work sometimes.
All right, fire away. You're up.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, with like a lot of people just waiting for that thing to work better, do you think we're gonna face like delays and stuff into like the warehouses when like they're gonna implement that fix with like the error of being pulled out and everyone's gonna start shipping and shipping and shipping stuff, and then that's gonna create new issues? Like, should we still ship stuff and deal with the problem now than face with like 3 months for your thing being received?
Send your stuff now.
Yeah,
100%. Sidrill's in a different ball game. He's got plenty he can process. He's already got the inventory paid for, so it's a little bit different for him. But like,
yeah.
I'm sending every single week, and believe it or not a lot of people got a lot to send. So you might think that people are waiting, and all of a sudden it's going to be this huge influx. a lot of people you see out here in the space really are not about this life of sending inventory every single week. So wishful thinking on you, thinking everybody's got thousands of units to send, but that's not the case. So I would literally just get them done every single week, and it's a pain in the ass, but I mean, if I got 500 units out and I only had, I think I got about 12 that they didn't want me to put in any of the boxes, and I had one that went through fully, completely without any errors. It'll get better with time, and there's no point in sitting on inventory, especially knowing where you're at in the business and you're trying to grow it. Just get the stuff sent out the door, even if you got to say, all right, it's going to be an extra, you know, what I did, I literally had all my boxes done. I had them all over the place, so I know this box is here, this stuff goes in this box, right? Because you can't put it back in the box until you get the labels. And I had, literally at one point, I had 4 go-to lister shipments open, and it's just spinning, waiting for Amazon to get back to me. So all I had to do, I had everything done because you price it before you do that part. I just had to label it. So I was waiting for them to kick back the error, resubmit it. Then when it came through, I would print the labels, and you can get around it. It just takes a little bit longer.
Okay. And then right now I'm also waiting because I got a bunch of stuff that are just pending Amazon action. How long is too long for every step? Like how long is too long for when they say delivered, between they say delivered and receiving, and between they say receiving and checked in or whatever, like how long is too long? Because I had some of those shipments being in delivered mode for status for like a month, and now it's being receiving for like a month. So now it's 2 months.
Okay, so delivered, probably, we would say if it's sitting in delivered status for a month, like that warehouse is a mess, right? It shouldn't take that long from delivered to receiving. Receiving now, on the other hand, receiving means they open the box, they scan the items, but at least one of those items is being transferred to another fulfillment center. So receiving can stay in receiving for months. You're really not worried about it because they got all your items. There's just one item that they decided, hey, we're going to send this to Hawaii to sell it there for whatever reason, and it'll keep that whole shipment in receiving status.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that the stuff is not available for sale.
Correct.
Okay. All right, cool.
Hey, Mike, I have a question.
Fire away.
So it's kind of related to what he was talking about. I'm sure it's on the group somewhere, but while we're on the call, so I had a shipment close. It showed 0 items received out of 116. Is that something I can create a ticket on and ask Amazon to investigate, or am I SOL?
Go to the shipments tab. They'll give you a date when you can open an investigation. It probably won't be anytime soon. They usually make you wait like a month after it's actually closed. So what I need you to do is I need you to, using GoToLister or whatever listing software you're using, go in, download the SKU list of that exact box. So you're going to submit the SKU list. You're also going to submit a picture of the box you use. So say, like me, I use Lowe's boxes. I'm going to tell them in my thing, here's the exact box I sent these items in. Just get a Google image. It don't got to be an actual picture of the box you sent. You just need to say, hey, I send them in Lowe's boxes. Here's exactly what you're looking for. And they'll open an investigation. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We've had success. Tatiana had the same situation. She had a full box go missing. She did exactly that, and all of a sudden, her 200 CDs showed back up, and all she did was submit her go-to-list or SKU list and the actual box and says, hey, here's how much the box weighed. Here's exactly what was in the box. I always ship my items in this box. Here's a picture of what it looks like. So if they do actually go and investigate, take a look at it, and they see that box come through, then you're A-okay.
Okay, that works.
But you might have to wait. You might have to wait a month or two for you actually to be able to open a case regarding that shipment. They don't let you do it right away.
All right, thank you very much.
Sigil, last call for alcohol.
Do you know when it's expected that GoToLister that there'll be that process that Dom's working on where you can submit everything all at once and it will remove the errors? Do you know when that's going to be live?
I think he was talking hopefully by the end of this week.
Okay, because that's what I'm waiting for to start listing again, honestly.
It's not, it's honestly, so you submit it once and it'll kick back like 30 errors. And all you do is hit resend, and then you submit it again, and then you only wind up with like 1 or 2 items, and then you just delete those out of the batch and you submit it and you're good to go. So the first time it's going to kick you back, it's going to say, you got all these errors. It's going to have all the SKUs up top in big red. And you're like, oh my God, it's like 30 items. You just resend those same exact ones. Then you'll get 1 or 2 back. and then you just delete those and you just continue on with the whole shipment, and then you can even throw those into the next batch, and they'll actually take some of the ones that were actually rejected from that previous batch.
Right, yeah, that doesn't sound fun. It sounds like the update will do a lot of that automatically though. So, and that'll be
Yeah,
coming.
hopefully. The only thing I can think of is, so if the update removes them automatically just by a click of the button, the only time it's saving you really is copying the SKUs, because it doesn't tell you the item, it just tells you the SKUs they don't accept. So you have to copy and paste the SKU in. So that's really the only time it's going to save you, is actually copying the SKUs in to see which ones you have to remove.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't like the concept that people were having to submit a batch and then like resubmit it like 4 times and keep waiting.
You're not going to get
Instead-
more than after one resubmit. I tried it. I tried resubmitting the same one like 8 times, and after that first initial denial and you send it again, whatever comes back the second time is what it's going to be. In every experience I've had with it, whatever I got back the second time was set in stone. I could submit it again, I get the same one back. Submit it again, I get the same one back. So after that second submit, cut your losses. That's what they don't want in that box, and it's usually only 1 or 2 items, and then you just send it.
And if there's time, what is the issue with those items?
They don't tell you, dude. It just says we don't like these SKUs. Get them out of here.
Sounds good.
Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason. Literally, the stuff I had, there's a few that I just kind of looked at. Like some of the DVDs were classified as books that they rejected, but like my books were all classified as books, and for some reason they didn't want some of the books that I had. And there's no rhyme or reason for it. It doesn't seem like it.
That you don't let anybody tell you wrong, man. It's a wonderful experience.
You know what? I hope it gets worse for all of you suckers. All right. I hope all you suckers. I hope all gets rolled back, and we got 30 up labels. You need to go buy a normal printer that uses actual ink, and you got to print them out on 30 up labels, and then we'll all be wishing that we had this crappy workflow.
Well, if they do that, then a whole buttload of people will quit, and it'll just be us left, and they'll buy. We won't have any more problems sending stuff in.
We'll get rich. We'll get rich. We'll just have
We'll
to,
make tens of dollars.
we'll have to all hire somebody, a 30 up guy or gal in our business. It'll be like the #1 talked about thing. Aren't you all glad you got into book selling? Because yeah, I said you'd be a billionaire like me. Hey, you can get rich doing this. I'll tell you right now, there's people in this group that are pushing 50K a month by themselves, cherry picking media only. So don't let my little measly numbers deter you from thinking what's possible in this business. And I mean, you got Jimmo who does tools, and that dude is 7 figures by himself. I won't say how many 7 figures, but he does his own thing. So you can make a lot of money doing this, even if you're just cherry picking. Even if you don't want to live the bulk life, you want to drive to the libraries, you want to, crash at hotels, go drive around the country. There's still lots and lots and lots of money to be made doing this. But, this is another barrier entry. And I kind of laugh when I see everybody crying about the new workflow and all the Facebook groups and yada, yada, yada. I mean, hey, back in my day, there was no listing software, right? Like I can be the old grump and have some, justification behind it. And I still remember, you all had to push me to get a listing software because I was still doing 30 up labels with CDs, full boxes, not in order. It was crazy. All right, anything else before I get out of here and go make my fake chicken sandwiches? Anybody want a fake chicken sandwich? They taste the same, they look the same.
Hey, Mike, I had a question.
Go ahead.
So for the Facebook groups, I've noticed that all of the Facebook groups are like 90% negativity. Would you recommend just unfollowing all these groups and then sticking with this one?
You should only be in ones you are actively involved in. I'm going to be 100% with everybody sitting here today. If I was not in a social media presence that I needed to be in, I'm a ghost on the internet, ladies and gentlemen. I would literally be in the groups that I have the software for, right? Like I would be in, the GoToLister group. You have GoToLister, the Scoutly group or Scout IQ group, just to see when there's problems going on. But these are not places of good information in general. And like you said, you want to get down in the dumps, you can go in any Facebook group and you get down in the dumps within a half scroll down the page, right? Like it's the end of the world. It's always the end of the world for somebody. And I like to think to myself, if you're looking for a certain answer, you're always going to find it. And most of the times it's something negative, right? Like you're looking for somebody to reinforce the fact that this sucks or that sucks. And the internet is where you're going to find somebody. And just don't spend all your days in Facebook groups. It is not healthy mentally or for your business. It'll be pretty bad. Cracked 5K in sales this month. Thank you for all you do. You've been the best resource I've found, hands down. Okay, Average Joe, I'm going to add you to the list of royalty checks I expect in the mail. I've still yet to receive a single one. 5 to 10%, whatever you're comfortable with for this month. I appreciate you all. We are out of here. I got my new go-to lister workflow coming out tomorrow. My editor's working on it. Like I said, it'll probably change, right? Like Sigil said, they're definitely going to iron out some of these things, so it might change. But for everybody that's trying to struggle, get on the struggle bus with me and deal with this new workflow, that video will be out for you guys tomorrow, probably sometime in the evening. And I got 500 units sent out this week. Sure, it took me 3 times as long, but the extra time is just me just leaving a tab open and waiting for the page to actually load. And that's another thing. When you do this, make sure you keep the tab open. I didn't really talk about all the tips and tricks in the video, but you guys can find me if you have any questions. Appreciate everybody watching over in YouTube land. I know I kind of neglected you guys. As always, Shot Down wants you to sell light bulbs. We're never selling light bulbs. Nobody here is allowed to sell light bulbs ever. Everybody have a good night. I think I will see you. I should see you guys before the Super Bowl. Is anybody cheering for like the Chiefs or the Eagles here? We got any big fans? Like any crazy fans? Feta says Eagles. Eagles. Man, I guess everybody's tired of the Chiefs winning. Let's go Mets. Oh my God. Not the Chiefs. I wanted Eagles Bills. Yeah, I think everybody
Go Duck.
The Ducks already got smoked. The Ducks are
I know.
cooked. Serving duck up for dinner. They got smoked. That was the best thing that happened because we all had to listen to you talk about Oregon for the next year if they would have won somehow.
Oh no. They're starting all recruitment and everything pretty quick. So
I think you should get a job at Oregon as like one of their recruitment officers. Or you could even be the duck. You could sign up and try out to be the duck.
The girl duck to the boy duck.
My roommate actually went to be Sparty, right, at MSU. So like they give you a test run, so they'll like take you out for 3 days, and it was pretty cool because we got to go around with them dressed up as Sparty on campus. It was pretty crazy. ASU go Devils! We got the Mighty Ducks. I'm cheering for Taylor Swift's Chiefs. Let's go Taylor all the way home. I'm born and raised in Philly. I know a lot of Eagles fans, and I would be nothing better than Andy Reid beating the Eagles again. 3 Super Bowls in a row, thanks to Taylor. I'm going to get a ring in the mail, too, because I've been cheering for the Chiefs all year. Not really. I watched the end of the Chiefs-Bills game, and that was probably as much football as I watched all season. So everybody have a good night. Ron's got to go feed the dog. The dog's fed up with Ron. He's like, hey, cuts, dude, it's time to eat. I need to eat, too. Fake chicken sandwiches. You know where to find me, Central Pennsylvania. I'll make you all fake chicken sandwiches. Everybody have a good one.
Bye-bye.